Okay. Hello,
John.
everyone. John Doyle from OptixEQ, and today I got a guest. Hey, Devyn, how's it going?
Hey, how we doing? Glad to be
Hey, all
here.
right. Devyn's in, I guess, around the Tampa area, Largo, Florida, and we're going to be handicapping a race in cold and wintry Aqueduct. And we were just talking before this about how the racing has just been marred a little bit with the weather changes and the cold weather, the wet weather and stuff. It's supposed to be, I think, cold, but at least sunny. Hopefully we can get this race 6 off at Aqueduct on Friday. And, Devyn actually picked this race. It's a pretty good race. It's a pretty bulky field for Aqueduct in the winter. So we got 11 horses. And, Devyn, when I look at this race, it looks like the plot fit is good. I don't know how you approach this, but I
Yeah,
always start. Yeah. Yeah.
I saw it as a yellow plot fit. I mean, maybe I might be colorblind. It looks a little green to me, but everybody translates pretty good over from standard to surface distance. So I thought it was pretty reasonable. And like I said, 11 horses, who knows after the scratches, but yeah, yellow fit contention, flame.
Yeah.
Speed rate.
So we have a yellow,
10.
and then we have like a yellow green, and then a green.
Okay.
So that one is a yellow green.
Okay, maybe that's what I'm. Okay,
So it's like 4
sense.
levels. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not your eyes. It's the way it was.
Okay.
So the race has a little bit of contention too, but the speed rating is kind of low. So I would say it's going to be just look at this. It sets up as a fair race from a pace perspective, probably.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
And for me, the horses that kind of like look negative to me would be the 8, and the other horse, believe it or not, that looks a little negative to me would be the 9 on the plot. And I know that's kind of contrary, but I think the 8 is because this horse is a closer, and he's a circle in quadrant 4. So to me, he's like almost like a toss. But I think the 9's like a sneaky bad horse, and and it's because even though he's a square and he kind of sits in the middle there, he's more of an EP, and I think he's a horse that likes to be a lot closer to the pace than it looks like he's going to be, and I think that's going to be to his detriment. So, that's how my initial quick assessment of it is, and it looks like the 4 is the speed of the speed.
Yeah,
but I have some issues with him.
Yeah, you got Atras and Carmouche, and yeah, I thought for 3 to 1, I wouldn't bet monopoly money on him. I mean, a lot of red notes on him. On the optics notes for sure. No finish, lone, no finish, trouble rush, lone. So
yeah. And
that's another reason why I picked the race. I sort of thought he was play against. Now that I see that he's morning line favorite.
Yeah, that's a guy. I think that's right. It's a good assessment. If you look what I'm just gonna underline. My writing here is too bad, but I think it's you're dead on with the red no finishes. And typically when we see that, and I see that with a lot of horses, it's usually breathing issues or breathing or bleeding, kind of issues with horses. Horses that have kind of comfortable leads and they kind of give it up late are just always worrisome to me. And you can see by his size, he's probably a medium to a large circle. Typically when he is a medium to large circle, I looked at his past performances here. Like when he's a 3, I'm going to go in to look at number 6 here. Oh, number 4. I mean.
6 is dark money. That's
number 4. So this is the one. And if you look at down here, when he's like a 3, like a Q1, and 3 is like the size. So we're saying 3. So these is his races when he's like a circle size of 3. He kind of like chucks it, and that kind of looks like what it. Right. Even though now the thing about him is he's been running against better horses, and when he does run at this level, he does better. But I think it's a favorite you might still want to take a chance against in this situation.
I thought he was a play against just from looking at the plot. But even when you did that, definitely he looks like more of a toss.
Yeah. So when I looking at this, if I kind of assess this race on early pace, the 4's got the early pace. It looks like I said, the 3, 9, and 10 are horses that can press. To me, just on the plot, and before we go into the grid, I think the 10 looks best on the plot of those 3, right? Because I think he's got some finishability. He's higher up than the 9, right? I'm just kind of, what I'm doing is going through the RPM, right? So the 4 we talked about, 3, 9, and 10. To me, probably the 10 of those three look, better. But maybe three or 10, but the 9 I don't like. The 1 and the 5, prefer the 1. Just he's kind of hidden here, but he sits.
Yeah, I was just gonna say he's like a little tiny square circle underneath the 6.
Yeah, he looks a little bit better. He's going to be a little bit more forward, a little bit higher.
And he's got some
got a
good
little bit more
figures that
finish forward.
he's got some good figures that fit into the race too as well. I thought
Yeah,
he was pretty
he's shipping
sneaky.
in. He may get he may get not underlooked by
Yeah.
coming in from Finger Lakes.
I agree 100%.
And then the 2, 7, and 11 of the the closer types. The 6 is kind of a presser closer. I think he's more of a presser. And to me, looking at the plot, he looks the best. The 6.
Yeah.
Without any
For sure.
question, right?
And he's 4-1.
Yeah, and to me, if I were to say who's got the plot here, 6 has got the best plot on the yeah. So I mean,
I
the fact that
agree
he's
with that Rudy Rod claiming off Linda Rice, it definitely looks like a decent plot, and I mean he's got figures too. Once we pull him up for sure.
Yeah. So let's jump
Put a
into
tower
this.
over the field, I should say.
Yeah. So let's look at him, right? So Dark Money. Now, his last 2 races against lesser company, but he's done really well. And I would say that this race in the slop, his last race, I got a note here because I watched the race. It was like he got like a perfect trip, but it was still hard to pass horses and on that day. So he was kind of against the bias, but so it was like a perfect trip and bias. So I didn't want to put perfect trip and bias. I kind of did other, and I just kind of say it was a little bit of both.
Yeah.
But that was a good effort. And like you said, he was claimed out of that race by Rodriguez from Rice. But I mean, this horse is just, you see all the yellows there. He's kind of a win type. And even though he was running against Les, that was his first race off a layoff. He's competed well at this level and above previously. It just looks like he might sit the right trip. And this kid Gomez is,
I was just about to say he's been lighting it up. I mean, he's been riding pretty good, and he's been riding good for Rudy too. Is he like a bug or like apprentice?
Yeah, he's apprentice. He just lost his 10-pound. Like they give him allowances. For like once you win a certain amount of races, they just dropped it down to 7 pounds. But he looks like a pretty strong rider. And
he's
been
a little fearless, and he's been riding good. Yeah, for sure. I mean, and he's with Rodriguez too, so he's putting him on some nice horses.
And like you said, speed figure wise, I mean, he really kind of stands out. This is the V bars I'm looking at. And, it was just second off a layoff, trainer change. I think, got the hot rider. He's going to get the weight. I'm not big on weight. I don't know if you want to take weight off, but he'll get some weight allowance.
So. I mean, I feel like with weight, definitely, I mean, if it was like a speed horse, dropping weight and you throw like a bug on there and tell them to send and just play rabbit. I like that sort of move, but I don't know. I don't really put it too much into perspective, but
so he looks like the most likely to win or finish second in this race. So I would kind of be building my tickets around him as an anchor.
Around him. Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
So let's look at some of the others. Like we said, if we're eliminating the 4, what do you think about? We talked about the 3 and the 10. Was there one in there that you preferred or thought about versus the other? Let's go to the 3.
3, I wasn't really big on.
I wasn't either. He's got some of this red no finish stuff.
No finish.
He benefited from a bias versus last time. His last time at this level, he did run a good race. In fact, he hasn't run a good race at this level in his last 2. I think he's, I'm against him.
Yeah, I'm totally against him too. I didn't even give him really that much of a look. Just looked at him and was like, no, thank you here. 10, like you said, definitely plotted good. I also saw the last 2 races were on a sloppy track, and if we go off what we watched today with the sloppy track, horse will definitely like a little bit of the mud. So I thought
I'm eerie of sloppy tracks because like today's sloppy track is different from some other sloppy tracks. They're different. It depends on how much water the track takes.
True.
But to your point, he can handle it, right?
If that's what I'm saying.
Right? So you don't have to. Yeah, because to your point. I mean, I just want to let me just filter on sloppy. I mean, because it's pretty impressive, this horse. I mean,
Yeah,
uh,
94.
not bad.
Yeah, 83.
Look, all wins, all wins,
All
four
wins.
wins and
Yeah,
four sloppy.
and cancels
So
back on the mount.
yeah, so I think he's a horse that I probably would consider for part of the exacta or the tries, right?
Mhm.
He's 9-2, so he seems like another solid contender
Yeah, for sure.
to use.
92, nice price. I mean,
And then I think I don't know if you had an opinion on like, did you have an opinion? Because I was kind of like dismissive of the 9, but was that some horse you liked?
uh, I'm not gonna lie to you. 9 was one of my top picks.
Okay, yeah, tell me why. Yeah, that's cool. Tell me why.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll tell you straightforward. I did a little work myself. Well,
Love it.
the thing I like about this horse. Okay, so I mean, if we go off today, I know it looks like he got scratched because of sloppy track twice, or one says scratch trainer, maybe because it was a sloppy track. These Finger Lake horses are a little bit sneaky when they come over, and especially in this field, I feel like there's not really much, even though we said the 6 and the 4 is a toss. The reason I like this horse, I watched that November 11th replay, and I know you have traffic wide and then closed hard. If there was a optics note that we could put sandwiched in there, I would probably have him. The horse was pretty much sandwiched.
Yeah, that's what traffic is. Yeah,
traffic. Yeah, but he was like really bad when I watched it. He was just like sandwiched really bad, and then made a nice turn outside, closed hard, as you could see. The thing I like about this horse, yeah, they scratched him out of that allowance. Like I said, it might have been sloppy. Then now allowance, and then scratched. They had him over at Aqueduct, maybe sloppy track. So they said, okay, we'll wait. I mean, he is a 4-year-old now, so I sort of like that he's young compared to a couple of the other horses in this field. The other thing I looked, he had like a couple nice work tabs over at Belmont. So looks like they went to Finger Lakes and then was pointing for the Aqueduct. And then he had a couple nice works, decent works over at Belmont when he came over from Finger Lakes. He's been working pretty well, which I sort of liked because it's not like, they forgot about the horse. So I don't know. I thought maybe
no. Hey, look, it's
I thought maybe he had a nice slice. I mean, the 91 could throw you off for sure. I know the optics figure for this race is 95 through 87. He's a 91. It's like the best one that he ran. But the thing is, he is a young horse. That was a 3-year-old. He's a 4-year-old. Now I could see an improvement. But
no, I hear you. Here's the things I didn't like about him.
Yeah. You tell me what
so what I didn't like about him is first of all, his last race at this level at this kind of track wasn't good because he pressed and he dueled and he couldn't keep up. And my concerns looking at his plot is that's what happens to him. He's not, because if you go to the second call, he can finish. So what's going to happen is he's going to probably have to run harder to stay closer. I think that's going to take some of his finish away. That's my concern.
Yeah, understandable.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So because he's much lower on the y-axis. So it's really a class thing with me. Okay. Last race I thought he got the flow. The race before, he had some trouble to start. Maybe you can forgive some of that, but still didn't do much running.
Yeah,
and I agree with you. I agree with you. The race that he did run, it was a good race. I just thought really that race might take something out of him. Maybe the fact that he's getting some time, that's good. I don't know. I mean, he's coming off a layoff 2 months, so.
Yeah, I know.
Why wasn't he? What was he doing between there? Because it looked like they tried to get him in a race on a sloppy track, maybe he's like the antithesis of the other horse, the 10. Because he doesn't run well on sloppy track. So
true.
I'd be curious right? Because let's do a thing on him like sloppy.
Yeah, I don't think it's probably. Yeah. See.
So they scratched him the last 2 times. I'm glad we have this information. You see, the last 2 times it was sloppy, they scratched him. So they probably think he can't run on a wet track.
Exactly. So that's sort of why they knew. And I think the other one said, I don't know if the other one said it. Oh, unavailable. Okay, that's what the other one was. When he was trying to get into the allowance race. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a sloppy track. So I think they figured out they can't run it on
sloppy. They probably can't run on it. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, look, I could see making the case for him. So maybe you keep You could keep him in. I'm gonna try to bet against him.
Bet against it, yeah.
But I can't argue with you with that price. I just can't.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. I mean, 12-1, got this Andre Worry. I mean,
Yeah.
just the way on the plot, like just the way he is, like, I don't know. The
Yeah.
way he's just
No, I
positioned.
get it. See, if he was like he was a PC or a P even. The fact, I mean, you can even look at when he runs well. Let's just look. Let's just
Yeah,
go
pull
here.
it up. Yeah, sure.
I'm going to show you something. When he runs like, well, he mostly runs first and second a lot of times. He's a good, pretty consistent horse. So this is when he runs first or second. He's up into the race.
Yeah,
I mean,
when I
right?
looked
Even
at the
even
run
even when
styles, yeah.
even when he's if he's 3 lengths behind, this one he's 9 lengths behind. He's not making up ground on horses. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's my concern. That he's going to be too far back, or he's going to have to work too hard. Let me see when he runs bad. Let's
It
look
breaks
at
his
when he's
meeting going wire to wire too.
Okay, let's look at when he runs bad. Yeah, I mean, it's when he doesn't. To me, it's when he doesn't keep up. That's my concern. When he doesn't keep up, he doesn't run, because he's not a horse that you're going to see pretty much finishing and passing horses in the stretch. I don't think.
Yeah.
And so if he can't,
understandable.
Yeah, that's why I'm gonna be playing against him. I thought, did you have anything about the 8 that you liked? Because I was just pass
The
on
8,
him.
no, I had 8 as a toss.
Yeah. And what about the 5? Was there?
Binkster, I've seen this horse run before too. I wasn't too big on him. Why? Did you have anything?
No, I was against him, and I
I was against him too.
I thought the 1 was semi-interesting. Let's go to the 1. He's another Finger Lakes horse.
Yeah, Finger Lakes. Yeah, they're sneaky.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Come over and win at a price.
What I liked about this horse is that he was kind of like a little bit more competitive in New York. And he's kind of like not really taking a step back. He's pretty consistent in speed figures, right? If he can get back to like what he ran is early. I mean, this horse showed some promise actually.
Yeah, over at Saratoga, even the Belmont one too.
Yeah. So I think, if he can maybe work out a trip, maybe he can factor in for a piece. So that was one.
If you look at his last, look at his last 3. I mean, pretty consistent figures: 83, 86, 87. I mean, he's just going up. So I mean,
he's running against less. I mean, he's running against less.
Yeah, he's running against less, but
but he's got some back class, right?
Back class, exactly. Yeah, he could have another one ready for another one to pop.
He's won off a big layoff before. He's run pretty well on his debut. Yeah, he runs okay on layoff, so I'm not too concerned about the layoff.
Runs good at 6 furlongs too. Decent numbers.
Yeah. So he's okay. I thought the other horses that I thought were worthy of like getting inclusion in the trifecta, or if you play superfectas, whatever. I thought the 2, 7, 11, one of those, right? Or one of all those I would look at, just because they can kind of clunk up. I think this 2 is, I thought he needed a drop. He got a drop, was slow out of the gate. I hate that, right? I hate horses that don't break, but it doesn't look like it's persistent with him. I don't have all notes for Finger Lakes, but it don't look like it's a persistent thing with him. So maybe I thought this, because he's fast enough. Maybe he finds the right field and maybe he clunks up for a piece. But I'm more for him underneath than on top.
Yeah, I literally have written down here on my notes for price horse, I had 2 question marks. So I'm right with you on that one for sure. I mean, if you look back at those Finger Lake races, those stakes races where you ran like a 101. I mean, never know.
I mean, that's a long time ago, right? Because
that's a long time ago, but
this is 504. So
yeah.
But the other thing, I'm not crazy. Since Gomez is going well, I'm not a little negative on the rider change, but
Vargas, yeah.
And then I thought the 7 was the other off the pace. This is a horse that's he's okay, but again, he's more of an underneath for me. I mean, he used to be better. Right? They had him actually in a grade 3 here, and then he's still in good form here. He kind of competes at the level somewhat, but not recently. So he's kind of the best he's done recently is like second or third. It's kind of more again clunking up. And
Yeah.
if they get crazy up front, maybe he can come running late. But I think he's probably even more suited for. Let's see. We're just going to compare him. Yeah,
6 furlongs.
6 furlongs versus like 8. Yeah, he's probably better sprinting, so I think this is a good thing. He's more of a closing sprinter, I thought, than a closing router. So, not impossible. Again, I'd be probably leaning more heavily third and fourth for him.
Third and fourth, yeah.
And then the 11, I thought, had a little bit of a look. Too. I mean, just again because it's a horse that's maybe get some pace. He's got a nice big square. He's quadrant 4.
Quadrant 4, yeah.
Maybe he could come running late.
Yeah, especially if it gets heated up top too, and they start battling like the content.
He's another horse that I'm not saying I'm gonna jump through hoops for him, but again, just to complete it, I'm more. I think the 6. Oh, there was one other thing I wanted to show you with the 6 too. And you probably knew this, and I didn't point it out to the folks. Is that this horse was, when we said he was claimed from Rodriguez, a claim back actually, right? If you go back in his old form, Rodriguez trained this horse and he won with him a couple, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He had a lot of wins with this guy.
He did.
So
yeah,
that's a claim back. So he's familiar with the horse. So I'm less concerned about. Yeah, I'm less concerned about him not transitioning. So to me, 6 is the horse. I'm going to use the 10 and then maybe a little bit the 1, 2, 7, 11 underneath in the try somewhere. Maybe some of that, play around with all that stuff. But what else you got for me on this race?
Yeah, I liked your 2, like you said, at 12-1. Definitely.
Yeah.
There's can you there? I like the 2 and the 7, especially for, maybe to get a slice or to who knows, maybe even win. I call this my little, tell me if I'm wrong or if like maybe I'm just on this software too much. So if you go to speed figures and if you click off all of them,
okay,
except for so click off that one.
I have a high. Oh, it's not on this one. It's on my other one. I gotta put a button here.
No.
Okay, which one you want?
Unclick all the ones with the speed best of 1 of 5. Okay. Like leave the surface distance one. And then get back that one.
Yeah, is that good?
Yeah. So I always like using this for some reason. I just narrow it down to those when I do the speed figures. For some reason, as you can see, the 2 looks like a standout. I don't know if you ever like messed around with it or anything. I sort of do it sometimes. It gets me to some bombers. If I just narrow it down, because I know the other ones are best of 1 of 2, best of 1. So these just look at surface distance and then so I sort of narrows it right down to the race, like the bread and butter. So when I did this, I do it for every single race. Obviously we can see our 6 stands out. Your 7, not too bad when you do it. I call this the little cheat code. I don't know.
I like it.
I honestly, it's got me to like couple 2 grand scores, 3 grand scores. Nice. So the 2 when I have price written down with 2 question mark, because I wrote it down because it's the cheat code horse. It looks good, especially at 12-1. So I always like doing that because like now if you just narrow it down, look, your 7 looks really good based off the V bars, So 6 obviously looks the best, but I think 2 and 7 definitely worth a look. My 9 doesn't look good, sadly, but
So I think that's a good thing, because what this is telling you, this is good that you did this, because it's telling you capability of the horse. It's capability, correct. Not only capability, but capability on the at this surface and distance and track, right? So that's
correct. It narrows it straight down, which I love.
So that gives you like, oh, this horse is capable of it. Now we got to figure out, is he in the right form? Does he get the right pace today to deliver? So that's but that's good, because that's a great way not to miss horses.
Yes, correct. It does. I don't miss anything when I do that.
I'm going to call that the Devyn filter.
Literally just exit out all the best of the 3 of 5.
I like it.
And just get it down just get it down to surface distance, whatever we're at today. Yeah, I've pinged a couple 20-1 bombs at like Charlestown, and a couple of them, they like I'm just like, I'm doing a little cheat code thing.
Yeah, I like it.
It's unbelievable. It's
So
unbelievable.
this,
I wasn't sure. I mean, obviously, I wasn't sure if you knew about it, but it is your software. But I'm assuming you've ventured into a bunch of stuff with the V-bar stuff. But
oh, I probably, yeah,
I
I
like
probably
messing
didn't,
around with
but
the stuff. I like messing
yeah,
around with it.
that's, and look, the thing is it's a platform for people to use their imagination, right? That's
Mhm.
really what we're trying to do. And we're trying to
Exactly.
display things in different ways so that it could get you thinking in different ways and try to
Mhm.
think out of the box. So that's great. No, I mean, I've never come up with that kind of combination, but it makes sense because, like I said, you're really focusing on capability at today's surface and distance.
Correct.
And
And then we go into looking at
yeah, like, I may not like horse because he's maybe off form, but but that doesn't mean that he can reach back and run a race that's competitive today. And that's a great way not to, especially if you're playing like I think that's a great tool. I'm really proud of you, by the way. I think that's a
thank
great
you.
tool because I
It's
think that's a really great
unbelievable.
tool
Trust
when you're
me.
playing pick six and pick fives. When you don't want to, when you want to put a horse in, like maybe even as a backup, you go through this process and say, I got to include this horse because maybe he can, especially if it's a race where you're fuzzy on. I don't
Fuzzy
want to
on
get
that.
beat by a horse that's capable of running at today's track surface and distance a good race.
Exactly. That's narrowed it right down. And like I said, a horse could look terrible on form and whatnot. But then when I do the cheat code, the little cheat code thing, he looks like he should be 1 to 5.
I love it. That's
But
great.
yeah,
Good.
it's
You
something to
really brought
just
something to this video.
it's something to just, I don't know, if for anybody using the software, just to maybe try here and there, couple races. If you like you said, pick
Yeah.
4, pick 5. So
Yeah.
maybe just if you got the money, add another horse. If something, I don't know,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
you know.
It's a great thing. Like I'm glad to see, like, because these things I think are great, these V bars, because the one thing that I think it does more than, if I got to look at, oh, which horse is 84, I mean, this just gives me relational kind of things, right? Because I don't care what a horse is. I want to know how he competes, right? And so this
Mhm.
is a kind of a relational data model, right? Where you can just quickly look at how these horses compete against one another, right? I know the other ones that we use, that we have quad percentage. I don't know if you ever use
Yeah,
this
I
one,
like
Devyn.
using the quads. Sometimes I'll do the same thing with
Yeah.
this. I'll take out all of them except for the last 2 on the left.
So you just want to see win, right?
Yeah,
That-
correct. And right here, you're 6 and 10. We talked about the 6, and we talked about the 10 being, plotted
Right.
pretty well.
Excellent. Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the same thing.
And then we have like well, where is this here? Oh, where is it? Oh, maybe I'm on new software. Do you see this? Or I don't even know. I may be on the development system, but there's a summary now.
Yeah, I love the summary too.
Okay, so there's okay.
Yeah,
I forget
yeah.
what system I'm on. So this takes like the big 3 things. It doesn't take in form cycle, but at least it takes the pace, the speed, and class. So
Yeah, I mean, and then going back on our point about the 2 horse here on summary, he doesn't look too hot with the speed, up. But
yeah,
when you do the little cheat code with the V bars and get it all down, he looks, reasonable to maybe even be a
right.
win contender. So the
So
summary,
there's maneuverability in this, right? There's
yeah,
flexibility,
correct.
but you got to do what you did and got to be creative.
Great, yeah,
So
for sure.
yeah, no, it's good. I love it. So anything else we need to add to race 6 here?
I think we touched it all. So
Yeah.
you like the I mean 6, I definitely.
6 looks good. I the thing with 6 is, do you see him anywhere near 4 to 1? I
Yeah, definitely not. If he is 4 to 1, might be
Yeah.
taking a hefty bet from me tomorrow.
Yeah, I got to believe he's anywhere between 9 to 5 and 5 to 2 best.
Yeah, I think so too. You got
I
Rudy.
would take 9 to 5 on that horse.
Yeah,
That's
I
how
agree.
confident I am. Yeah.
So
Okay.
you had 6 on top, and then we talked about 10 was probably another good choice. I thought 10 was reasonable.
Yeah, returned reasonable. I'm not crazy about, but I thought the 2 and 7 and 11 were underneath. Like we talked about 2 and 7, maybe be able to shake things up, maybe get into the place.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
it depends on the odds. You might want to play it exactly with 6 and one of those, maybe the 2 or the 7, and then maybe
Tossing
if
my
you're going to
9
play,
out.
yeah, I wouldn't.
But
That's and then what I would probably do is I put the 6, maybe with the 10 and 11 over the 2 and 7 in a try,
in a
something
try.
like that. So
Yeah. Yeah.
almost like betting the 6 to win, and then getting either the one of the 6 or the either getting the 7 or the 2 to finish second or third.
I agree. Yeah,
That's how it
7 or
works.
2, especially that 2, since
Yeah.
and I'm gonna stick to my 9. If my 9 wins, I get
Yeah.
another
No,
video.
I'm
I get
glad. I'm
another
good for
video
you.
if the 9 wins.
Yeah, you got it. Well, anytime. You're welcome anytime. You've been a
I'm
great
telling
guest.
you, he's sneaky. He's just good on the
Okay.
plot. I like how he's plotted. I like those. He was my top pick, and then when you said that you were against him, I was like,
Yeah,
oh, damn it. I was like, oh, damn it. I got a lot of work
No,
to
you
do.
should
But
bet double now. You should bet
I
double.
know, right? I'm running to the
Uh,
windows.
so-
Just another touch on 9. I just really like the way he's plotted. Just to
Yeah.
say, I mean, if there was a huge battle. I mean, I know we went over his run lines. He does like to go. I like to see if he could just a little sit behind. I don't know if he can. Like I said, he just plots well to me, where I would take a shot, especially at 12 to 1. If he floats up to maybe 15, 18 to 1, I don't mind maybe a small
I can't
win bet,
argue
or
with you. I
maybe
can't
using
argue with you.
underneath. But just if it gets like a little too crowded up top there, maybe you can pick up the pieces. And like I said, I like that replay from him back in November. So I know the horse can get
Cool.
out and
Good.
whatnot. So we'll see what he
Good.
see what he can do, but-
Stick to your guns. Stick to your
yeah,
guns.
I mean,
I like it.
I like my 9. So another video on.
So
if you-
how did you get interested in looking at optics and plots and stuff like that? How'd you find out about us?
I found out actually from a buddy of mine. He was using it. And then he's like, this was about a year and a half ago, or no, last Breeders' Cup. He was using it. He's like, yo, check this out. Because like at that time I was just, using the form. Basically, I wasn't using any kind of software, just basically using the regular DRF form. And we were using that. And I mean, we weren't the best that weekend, but when we went back and did like looking at the plots and like saying where we went wrong, because I do that with every race. I go back, look at the plot and say, he makes sense, blah, blah, blah. So he sort of got me onto it. And then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start using it. And so I started just adapting to it. And like I said, he's like one of my best friends. He lives down the street. So we're always, tossing thoughts together and stuff like that, and using optics and stuff like that. So yeah, that's sort of how I got into it. And then I just sort of became attached. And I was like, God, why is not everybody using this thing? It's the best. It's the best. It makes things a lot easier, quicker. And, it makes my brain just go a little bit, more quicker than just reading through the damn form.
That's funny because like, the older players, are like, I can't understand this. And then right. But I'm like, how can you, it's going to take a little time. It's just an adjustment. It's a change. I said, you learned how to do the racing form. I said, where younger people come in, they look at the racing form, that looks complicated.
It looks like Chinese to them. Yeah, it looks like
right.
Chinese
And this looks, a little bit more doable. So it's interesting.
But
different
I know some people, I've shown a couple of people, and they think this looks like Chinese. I'm like, no, this is
I know.
not Chinese.
I know.
This is not Chinese. I could tell you what's going to happen in 2 seconds when the gates open up. So I just like it because it's quick. It gets me to an opinion, especially on a race that's like if I'm sort of like back and forth, and maybe if there's nothing, if it's a pretty shitty plot, then I'll pass, obviously. But it makes me find an opinion, and like I said, I try to use the V bars and stuff like that, and try to just get creative with it. I feel like that's what you got to do with it, right?
Absolutely. So, you did a great job, by the way.
It definitely makes things easier than ripping through a damn form.
Yeah, what page am I on? And then, like I said, then you're comparing that horse. Wait, that horse had 38.
Yeah, then you're writing notes and Xing through horses, and those X's might be, those X's might look good on the plot.
Yeah, my 45 years of playing horses, maybe it's what am I saying? It's closer to 53 years of playing horses. I definitely kind of whatever I learned, I try to pull them together into this in my view of it, right? What it would look like. And it's still evolving, so hopefully we'll even move it forward, even more forward over the next.
I
few
would
years.
hope so. Yeah, for sure.
So we're we're happy, and I'm glad to have met you. And you're welcome
Yeah.
anytime. We could do.
Perfect. Yeah.
We could do
I'm
some
thankful for
big
the
things.
opportunity to come on. I appreciate you having me come on and look over the race.
Yeah. I got
I
to
love
get you on
this.
Twitch with Emily. Have you ever met Emily?
I have not. No, I've seen she does a little bit of the Twitch stuff. So yeah, I've seen her do a couple of the Twitch stuff. Yes, does she still doing the fairgrounds?
Yeah,
Couple
yeah,
of
she does the fairgrounds. Yeah,
Oakland.
she's great. So we've been together from the beginning, working on this, and so she does the notes for a lot of tracks. Like I do New
Gotcha.
York,
Yeah.
and she does the other ones.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, good. So it was great having you. I'm gonna
Yeah,
just
thanks for
stop the
having me. I
recording.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, we
I
appreciate
love
having you.
I love the software. I'm a big fan. I try to tell everybody about it, and but
No, that's
some
terrific.
people want to do it and some
So-
people don't. But I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for having
So
me.
check
on.
us out on OptixEQ.com, everyone. Thanks for listening, and thanks, Devyn, for hanging out with us.
Yeah, thank you.